Hi everyone and welcome to 3 Charts in 1 with me, Richard Perry, market analyst for Infinox on Friday the 18th of November. Now I've got a few charts today which I think are looking at really important turning points potentially and some interesting moves certainly. And I've got the Aussie dollar, I'm looking at the oil price and also the NASDAQ 100 futures. So first of all, with the Aussie dollar, we've had this sharp recovery in the Aussie dollar. We've seen it across major forex pairs across the board as the dollar correction has set in the last couple of weeks, but it's just started to tail off. And what I've done here is I've drawn this downtrend, go up 2 levels, and we can see the importance of this now, this hitting this downtrend and falling over. So this makes it a really important moment. Also, look at this breakout support. We had the move above this resistance band here, which I've got the crosshair and comes in around 67 figure breakout, important earlier this week, and it's now retreated back to this band of breakout support. So finding resistance at the downtrend and retreating back to breakout support. So this is an important moment. How does the market react? It initially broke back below, but it has recovered that breakout support 66.70 to 67 figure. Now, if it closes below 66.70, I think you could see an unwind back towards this base pattern. This is a pretty good base pattern of a head and shoulders reversal. It actually implies around 68 figure area, 68.50, 68 figure. So I think that there is still recovery potential in this move, but it'll be interesting to see if it can break this downtrend in the place on the moment. And we've got this improved momentum. Look at this RSI, solidly above 60. Again, holding above 60 is important, but also holding above 50 on a near-term correction. If it breaks back underneath 50, that sort of starts to lose some of the recovery momentum. But that breakout support of the neckline is also important. So it's a couple of really important levels here. Initially, the support 66.70. If that gets broken, you're back around the 65.50 area, which is the neckline of the base pattern. But as I said, for continued recovery, this downtrend has to be broken, and then you're looking at the next resistance around 69 figure. But interesting times and moments for the Aussie dollar. Again, another interesting chart. What we've seen on the oil price is this recovery in oil in recent weeks back towards essentially resistance around 100 bucks, 99.50 to 100 bucks. If I go back a long way, you can see on this chart that it's old key lows throughout this year. Old key lows around 100 bucks have basically come back in as resistance in the last couple of months. And now what we've seen on a near-term basis is a little head and shoulders top pattern, completing underneath 93 bucks, completing, and actually that implies, arguably a target of sort of 86 bucks, 87 bucks. And you've got the initial support at 89 bucks, but that 89 bucks, if that gets broken to the downside, then you could easily see the market back towards these range lows at 83, 84 again. But look at this RSI leading the market lower, so that confirming the move and confirming certainly that support at 89 bucks is likely to be tested now. So again, an important moment. That breakdown of support at 93 bucks now becomes new resistance. We can see this move here. You can actually get a gauge of a new trend starting to form. If I draw in that line there, you can start to see this form of lower highs and lower lows. And we can see that on the 4-hour chart as well. Obviously not as accurate on the 4-hour chart, but you can see that. And the resistance at 93 bucks, old support becomes new resistance. Very important here. So it looks like selling into strength at the moment is starting to develop on the oil price. And again, that would accelerate below that 89 bucks support here on this oil price. And finally, on the NASDAQ 100 futures, well, Wall Street has been recovering. The Dow futures are way higher than where NASDAQ has got to. NASDAQ is lagging, but it certainly has completed this base pattern. Look at this base pattern that completed on the chart. If I get the crosshair, you completed above 11,700 area. Breakout above that was important earlier this week. You can see that improved on the momentum, but it's just stalled a little bit back towards the neckline around that 11,700 area. Now, let me go back a couple of levels here. We can still see we're in this big long downtrend. However, it does go through periodic base patterns. We had a base pattern here back in March that went strongly higher and almost hit target. Remember, in a downtrend phase, you tend to underachieve the targets, undershoot the targets. We had base pattern, there's one here, again, came back to find support back in July. And again, we've had this base pattern forming, came back to find support at the neckline. So again, I think this is a buying opportunity area. If this neckline support can hold, if the RSI can support above 50, that remains in a recovery phase. But how far does it go? Well, that downtrend comes in at the moment around 12,500, and also the neckline measuring from the base around to the neckline, you get a breakout target of around 12,800. So there is scope for a recovery here on the NASDAQ 100 futures, but around finding support around this neckline and holding this level is important. If it starts to drift underneath, you could see quite a quick move back towards maybe 11,200, and below 11,200 you really are back into corrective territory. But holding the neckline support would be important here near term for the NASDAQ 100. So I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll speak to you soon.